25th of November, Rabbi Furst, Parsha Hashavua, Toldos.
Okay, good morning. Again, this is true as Rabbi Stone Furst here, as Lou said. Zoom. We're learning Parsha Hashavua, as Lou said. Parsha Toldos, Shana Tavshin Pei Gimel. Okay, we're gonna. It's worthwhile to get a running start on this. A whole big, very big parsha, covering a lot of psukim. I would say maybe let's begin. And again, chapter 26. We'll start by Shlishi Pasuk Yud Gimel, if you like there. 26 Yud Gimel. That's 26 Pasuk verse 13. This is referring to when Yitzchak was in Eretz Philistine, right? Could read it. Maybe it's probably worthwhile reading the psukim in English, just so we can concentrate more on going to Rashi's review and then some of the concepts to discussing. Why would you like to begin reading? You can read in English if you like.
All right, I'll read it. Vayigdal Haish Vayelech Halach V'Gadol Ad Ki Gadol Ma'od. For all the wells which his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham, his father, the Philistines stopped them and filled them up with dust. Is that right? No, that was
13, Pasuk 13.
Yeah, that was 15. Sorry, 12 or 13. Thus the man grew. Thus the man grew and went forward and grew until he became very great. For he had possession of flocks and possession of herds and many domestics, and the Philistines were jealous of him.
You see, they were jealous, right? They were jealous. So we'll get back to that point. Remember that point. We'll get back to it.
Yeah, 13 and 14 together. All right. Didn't realize. Okay.
Continue on.
For 14, Vayechila Mikna Serton Umikne Bakar Vachudah Rabba Vayakanu also Pelishtim. Now 15, B'chol Havairos Asher Tofaru Avari Aviv B'mei Avraham Aviu Siddamus Pelishtim Bayamalus Ophor.
So what did the pasuk say? What happened here?
15, 16, and Abimelech said to Yitzchak, "Go from us, for you have become much mightier than we." V'yomer did I say no?
Just keep reading in English. Just read the English.
Right there. So his father's servants dug, and Abraham, the Philistines stopped them up and filled them with dust, all these wells. And Abimelech said to Yitzchak, "Go from us, for you have become much mightier than we." And Yitzchak went thence and encamped in the valley of Gerar, and lived there, abode there.
So you see, first of all, they were jealous. The first pasuk says they were jealous.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, leave us. get away from us.
Mhm.
Okay, so then he left and he went and dwelled. Go ahead.
All right, so they said, go away, you're stronger than us. And Yitzhak went and lived in the valley of Gerar. And Yitzhak dug again the wells of water which they had dug in the days of Abraham his father. For the Philistines had stopped them up after the death of Abraham, and he called their names after the names by which his father called them.
Right. Good, very good. Continue on.
And Yitzhak's servants dug in the valley and found there a well of living water. A well of living water.
Fresh water well. They found a fresh water well.
Uh-huh. And the herdsmen of Gerar quarreled with Yitzhak's herdsmen, saying, the water is ours. And he called the name of the well Esek, because they contended with him. And they dug another well and quarreled for that also, and he called it the name Sitnah. And he removed from thence and dug another well, and for that they quarreled not, and he called the name of it Rehovos. And he said, for now the Eternal hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land.
So you see, first of all, they had kina. They were jealous. And they said, get away from us. Now they started fighting with him. Right? You see how things are progressing?
Yeah. Where did I read that the Esek well was the first temple, and the Sitna was the second temple, and the Rehovot is Mount Hashem, the third temple to come?
Right.
Where did I read? I don't know where I read that.
Yeah, I think the Ramban, some commentaries make that symbolic connection.
Uh-huh.
But we know that it was Shlomo Melech that built the first base of English. Yeah, so okay, let's continue on.
So the Eternal had made room for us, we were fruitful. 23. And he went up from thence to Beersheba. This is Yitzhak, is it? Went up thence to Beersheba, and the Eternal appeared to him in the same night and said, I am the God of Abraham, your father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and I will bless thee and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he built an altar there and invoked the name of the Eternal and pitched his tent there, and there Isaac's servant digged a well. And then Abimelech comes back on the scene. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Achuzas, his companion, and Phicol, the officer of his host. And Yitzhak said unto them, why have you come here when you hate me and have sent me away from you?
Oh, okay, let's stop there. So, so now, very strangely, so the king shows up at Yitzhak's door, right? And very interesting. What could they possibly want here? You know?
Well, they said, we saw plainly that the Eternal was with you, and we said, let there now be an oath between us, even between us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee. This is modern history. Just what we're doing now with Lebanon and with what you call it, the Arabs.
How do you understand that? I'm not sure. What's the connection?
Well, with Lebanon was our enemy, but now they're pally walsy to a certain extent because of the gas that they found and the water. They're going to cooperate with between Israel and Lebanon and Turkey. I think in Turkey, something like that.
Turkish water, the Turks want to sell water.
Yeah, or something like that. I don't know. But it's all sort of political and expedience.
Well, sure. Now, sort of interesting, and what was sort of interesting that he shows up with his general,
Mm.
kind of.
But,
You got this guy, with, a couple of swords and knives, and, he's got his, not a very, friendly greeting, is it?
maybe he didn't have all those weapons with him. Or maybe he just had a symbolic weapon with him.
Oh,
For the reason that they come there.
yeah, well, that's so now you're getting to the point. What were they coming here for? What was their point? Even Yitzhak didn't know what they wanted. He said, "Yeah, you hate me. You sent me away. What are you doing here? What do you want from me?"
Mm-hmm. Well, they were frightened of us because as I said, we saw plainly that Hashem was with you. The Eternal was with you.
Right.
I called him the Eternal. What's that in Ivrit? Elohim, is it? Elohim.
Yeah, could be. Could be the.
They didn't say Hashem.
It's the Yud Kei Vav Kei, I think, right? What's the pasuk? The pasuk uses the
28, I think.
Yeah.
Was it 29?
The Hashem Yud Kei Vav Kei.
Mm-hmm. But they had other choices of names too, didn't they? Or they didn't know?
Not sure. Not sure.
Says
by Paro that Paro made a statement that he doesn't know Hashem. He didn't know Hashem Yud Kei Vav Kei, but the Psukim already referenced Paro is using the expression of Elohim. Elohim, Minas Edin. Paro said he could recognize that, but Minas Arachim from a correspondent that he couldn't recognize.
Right. He doesn't have it. That's why. He doesn't have inside him Rachamim.
From Paro. You have to see, you have to have it yourself a little bit to see it in others, yes.
All right.
But the question I want to try and develop here is, what did they see in Yitzhak that they saw that Hashem was with him?
Yeah, but it doesn't say what they saw in aside that he and Hashem are very close.
Yeah, was that
Hashem supporting him.
You think so? How do you see that they saw that Hashem was supporting him?
He saw plain that the Eternal was with thee. That Hashem was with him.
Right.
So it wasn't something distant. They might have been able to hack that. They might have been able to put up with that. But if Hashem is close, he's Yitzhak's strong man, so to speak. So they were frightened.
But we already saw previously that, first of all, they were jealous of him. And then they sent him away. They hated him. And not only that, they contended with him. They fought with him.
Right.
So I'm just trying to figure out what changed. That,
Nothing changed.
nothing changed.
No, they still have those so-called qualities, we call them qualities, those attributes of jealousy and hate and all that. They've still got those, but they've got to sublimate them. Because what has changed is that they realized the power of Hashem and they acknowledge it.
What, I mean, you're just giving up now?
Mm-hmm. Yep. For the moment, they're giving up, yes. Abimelech knows when to call it quits.
I mean, it's sort of like just surrender, huh?
Yes, but not in a formal way, like sort of giving a white flag or anything like that. Their form of surrender was to make an alliance.
If you can't beat him, join him, right?
Exactly.
Is that an English expression or an American expression?
Yes.
Yes. You make a good politician, boy. Lou, you know, where did that expression come from? If you can't beat him, join him.
No idea, really. I don't know.
Don't know.
So Roy is
What?
is saying shot that we see that expression comes from the Torah. That's what Avimelech was doing here with his general. They couldn't beat Yitzhak, so they figured they'll join him.
Mm-hmm.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm. Well, so far we haven't looked at Rashi. Are we going to, or we're going to go on a bit more?
No, we can start with the psukim right now. The question is, which Rashi should we see? Because let's see. Maybe let's go back a bit. Because don't forget, he was tremendous. Why did they have jealousy from to begin with? Because he was so successful.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they realized his success. So I'm trying to understand what did they see that Hashem was with Yitzchak that they didn't recognize at the beginning, number one, and what changed now that they should, as you want to say, if you can't beat him, join him.
All right, so
It says.
So where was this? This was in Gera? No.
Yeah, like if you look, yeah, this is in Gror, and that's Eretz Philistine in Gror. If you look back at the Pasuk Yud Gimel, and we'll see the Rashi there. See the Rashi on read the Pasuk Yud Gimel again. And we'll see the Rashi there.
Maybe Lou can do this. I've got a tickle.
Like, whatever.
He was very great, for they would say, the manure of the mules of Isaac, and not the silver and gold of Avimelech.
See what people were saying? People would say they would rather have the manure of the donkeys of Yitzhak rather than the gold and silver of Elimelech.
Mm. So his greatness, which Abimelech recognized, was not based on bribery.
No, not
He
at all.
wasn't rich.
Right.
He didn't use richness to become great. He became great automatically because of who he was, and it's something Avimelech couldn't do.
right? And nevertheless, that made them jealous. That made them jealous,
Yeah.
right? Right. So, and at the end where we stopped, they came to him. And they say, let's make a pact. Let's become partners over here, because we see Hashem's with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do we want to say the pshat is that they still were jealous, very, very jealous, but they couldn't beat this Yitzhak, and especially since they saw Hashem was with him. So they said, okay, if we can't beat him, join him. Or did they stop being jealous? And they realized Hashem was doing this all, and there's nothing to be jealous about if Hashem's doing it, right? And now they want to get you see a guy is doing well, you want to join up with him, right?
I don't think it's quite. I'm pretty sure that their jealousy wasn't mitigated in any sort of way whatsoever. I think it was just simply pushed down because we're not told. We were told that they were jealous. So if they were going to lose a jealousy, we'd have to be told that. And we're not told that.
Right. I mean, we don't have no, I would agree with you. We don't have any need to assume that they changed their meters. They didn't become tzaddikim, right? They didn't become tzaddikim and get out from underneath their normal feelings of jealousy, which people would normally probably have, right?
Right.
So then why does the pasuk have to tell us about the fact that they wanted to join him because they said that Hashem is with him? I mean, what's so crucial about that the Torah has to tell us that they wanted to join up with him because Hashem was with him?
I'm sorry, I lost you for a bit.
The Torah is telling us that the reason why they want to make a pact with Yitzchak is because Hashem is with him, right?
Yeah.
Not because he's rich, not because he's rich, not because he's being successful, right? And if the Torah is telling us that was the truth. The truth is that they really wanted to be associated and become partners with Yitzchak because Hashem was with him. Not because he was rich, not because he was powerful, not because he was successful, apparently.
Uh-huh.
Well, it looks like in Pasuk 24, 25, that Avimelech was afraid. Hashem is with you, and I'm afraid you're going to take advantage of that, and you're gonna hurt me.
Where do you see? Tell me where you see that he was afraid.
So he says, I was wrong. It's Pasuk 28, and they said, we have indeed seen that Hashem has been with you. So we said, let the oath between ourselves now, between us and you. Let us make a covenant with you. If you do evil with us, just as we have not molested you, and just as we have done with you only good, and sent you away in peace. Now you, O blessed of Hashem. He's saying, don't do evil to us. Don't hurt us. Don't use your power. You have God behind you. Don't use that power to hurt us.
This is propaganda. We
He
sent you away in peace. We sent you away because we were jealous of you.
That's what we need. This was Avimelech's response to what Yitzchak said to him. He says, "What are you doing? What do you want with me? You hate me, or you sent me away from you, right? And so what do you want? What are you bothering? What are you coming around here now for? What do you want from me?" So he said, we saw Rinu ki Hashem is with you.
Mm.
So they're trying to say, Lou, you were trying to say they're trying to say to Yitzhak, don't take revenge upon us.
Not revenge. They didn't do anything to him.
Yes, they did. They hated him. They sent him away. And don't forget, didn't they start up? Look at all they started up with the wells, right? Didn't they have a lot of, they had a lot of problems with the wells, right?
Oh yeah, they filled in the wells. That's true.
Yeah.
And not only that, they also thought about when he finally discovered water, right? They said they claimed it was theirs.
They want to steal the water.
You want to steal? Yeah, he had a lot of problems from them.
Mm. So this
So
is
when he says, just as we have not molested you, and we've done only good to you, so you're saying he's lying?
I don't know. Do you think does that match what the Psukim said about the wells?
Isaac doesn't dispute it.
Yeah, but one thing you don't tell a liar that he's lying to your face. Don't tell a liar he's lying to your face, because what's he gonna do? He's gonna deny it.
Right. Okay, I hear.
So
But still, it seems that they were afraid of him.
yeah, I mean, I can understand that. I can understand that.
So they're saying, let bygones be bygones, and don't hurt us, and we'll be friends.
Hmm.
And meaning they said, well, okay, look, we can't, we tried our best and we couldn't beat you, and we see Hashem is with you, so okay, we might as well just accept that and make a truce. Sounds like that's what they were after.
Yeah. I mean, you have to ask, why did they send him away? Why didn't they just attack him originally? Why didn't Avimelech just gather his army together and go and attack Yitzchak and take all of his wealth instead of saying you got to leave here?
Because maybe that goes, we have to go back a little further for this one to answer that question. Maybe it says, go back to Pasuk. Let's start with, we'll get a running start. Vav, Pasuk Vav.
Abimelech said, "What is this that you have done to us? One of the people had nearly lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us." Abimelech then warned all the people, saying, "Whoever molests this man or his wife will surely be put to death."
So you see, he already made a decree that no one could bother him.
Right? And then it says, Yitzchak sowed, and he reaped 100-fold. He became very great. He acquired flocks and herds and all that kind of stuff. And so my question is, at that point, I said, and the Philistines envied him. So at that point, why don't they attack? I mean, what I'm saying is they didn't attack. They could have.
Right, but they already were told they couldn't. They couldn't really harm them. I mean, it was already they already issued with a royal decree. You can't harm this person nor his wife.
Mm.
Right.
Hashem
I'm
told
saying,
him.
let the king attack.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Hashem told Abimelech to lay off.
Yeah. 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 All right.
I don't know. It doesn't say that, Roy. It says,
Back there, do no harm.
what?
Says, don't he say, Hashem says to Abimelech with regards to Abraham and Sarah, do no harm.
Where do you see that?
Isn't that back there somewhere? Or not? I haven't got. I'm wrong.
All I see is Avimelech sees that she's his wife, and he says, what is this that you have done? Somebody might have lain with her.
Mhm.
Hashem doesn't say anything.
Oh. I thought Hashem told him to lay off somewhere. All right.
Avimelech made the decision on his own to say nobody should molest Sarah. But after that, Yitzhak becomes very wealthy.
Right.
So I'm saying now, in regard to that, Avimelech has a choice. He can say to Yitzhak, go away, or he can say, give me all your money, or I'll kill you. And since he chose to say go away, that was a good thing.
Yep. So what are we what are we concerned with at the moment then?
Right. So I'm trying to understand two things at this point. One, the change what caused the change in attitude. Now you said it was a simple if you can't beat him, join him, right? And what was exactly what they saw. I mean, again, you have to realize you're talking about here that that the Avimelech, which I'm not, I don't know if he was on the greatest level of spiritual refinement, but the Torah records for us the fact that he says openly that he says that he sees that the Shem is with him, right?
Mhm.
This is similar to, let me see if I can find the passage. 1 second. Okay. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. It's similar to go go ahead to further in Parshas Vayeshev in Perek Lamed Tes 39, chapter 39, Pasuk Aleph and Beis. You have it over there?
I'm looking.
I've got 29. I've got
Chapter 29, the first and second psukim.
29.
29, chapter 29, right?
29?
Yeah, excuse me, 39. I'm sorry, 39.
39, okay. 39. I've got 30. 31. I've got all this in Roman
What
numerals.
pasuk?
Aleph and Beis.
$38. $39. So you said Aleph and
Right.
Beis.
Joseph had been brought down to Egypt. Is that the right pasuk, Rabbi?
That's right.
Potiphar, a courtier of Paro, the chamberlain of the butchers, a prominent Egyptian, purchased him from the hand of the Ishmaelites who had brought him down there. Hashem was with Joseph, and he became a successful man. And he remained in the house of his Egyptian master. Okay.
So you see, what was the source of Joseph's success?
Hashem was with him.
Right. So the same phrase, right? Hashem was with him.
Right.
Now, one second. So I mean, I'm working on this. Why is this important to me? Because I mean, we for our own benefit, right? For our own benefit, we should try and realize what makes a person successful in life, right? Some people might say you get a good education, right? You make good investments. Some people might say you work on having good midas, right? Maybe some people might say you read that book written by Dale Carnegie, you smile at everybody, right? You know, when you smile at everybody, you'll be successful in life, right?
Right.
Okay.
So we have two examples over here that Joseph was successful and Yitzchak was successful because why? Because Hashem was with them, right?
Right.
That's the way we should try and become successful in life, correct?
No, that's the goal is not to become successful. The goal is to come closer to Hashem.
But the goal is to have Hashem with you, right? I mean, you want to get close to Hashem. But if you want to get close to Hashem, right? So that hopefully we would like that Hashem's going to be with you. How are you going to get Hashem with you, right? And you have to understand Bechlal. What does that mean? What does that mean? Bechlal, Hashem is with the person. What does that mean? Hashem is with the person. I mean it's a phrase. We understand the words, but practically speaking, what's that supposed to mean? I mean, symbolically, we can understand what it means, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what does it really mean? Again, and we see that the Abimelech saw this. He saw that Hashem was with him, right? And apparently, in spite of all the success that he had earlier. I mean, he was very rich, and as the Rashi's pointed out, the manure of Yitzchak's donkeys was more preferable to people to have in the king's gold and silver, right? So you see that he was tremendously successful in a physical and a gashmius way, right?
Mhm.
But apparently, and apparently at that point, there was no mention of them realizing or acknowledging that Hashem was with him.
In a way, Hashem was forced to be with him because if he was going to be successful, it says here, he's successful because of Hashem. Is that right?
How do you understand what it means? Go ahead, look at it again. Tell me how you understand it.
It says that Hashem is with Yitzchak,
Right.
so with Abraham.
This was with
Yes, with Yitzchak. Hashem is with Yitzchak. This is what we're told through Avimelech. If and Hashem and Yitzchak's wealth and success in all aspects of his dealings and life comes from Hashem, and this is recognized by Abimelech because Hashem has to be with Yitzchak, because if he wasn't and Yitzchak had success, that success would be because the title was with him. Satan would have been with him, making him successful. So we had to stipulate that Hashem was with him. And it's recognized then that of the two, we know that Hashem was with Yitzchak.
Right. But well, I mean, this was if the Torah itself say this as a narrative to the whole situation, right? I would tend to agree with you more easily. But this is something that Avimelech himself is saying, right? It's not that the Torah is giving like by Yosef. It's like the Torah is giving a narration of what it was, and the Torah itself is giving the reason why he was successful. But here we have Avimelech is saying the reason why Yitzchak was successful.
Well, wait a second. It says in Pasuk 12, Isaac sowed in that land, and in that year he reaped 100-fold. Thus had Hashem blessed him.
Right.
So it's the Torah saying that Hashem blessed him.
That's definitely true, no question about it. But if that's the case, but that didn't stop them from being jealous.
Well, that I don't understand, because my understanding is that if the Jews do what is proper, not only will we be successful, but the non-Jews will respect us. It's only when we act improperly that they hate us.
That's a big question. That is a very big question. I hadn't gotten to that point yet, but that's a very big question. Correct. That if it's really coming through Hashem and it's really a bracha from Hashem, then there should be no fallout from it, right? No negative fallout from it. And yet we see, in spite of the fact that the bracha came from Hashem, and the pasuk, as you said, the verse, the Torah itself says clearly that the bracha came from Hashem.
Yeah,
and so why should
that they envied him?
Excuse me?
It says clearly, like you said, that the bracha came from Hashem, and then a couple pasukim later, it says clearly that the Philistines envied him.
Right.
And I don't know, the word for envy is I think it's yikan-u.
That's right. From kina, the word kina, jealousy.
Kina. So that's that's a very negative concept.
Right. I mean, but maybe you couldn't expect better of them. I mean, we're not talking about tzaddikim. I'm not saying that the Philistine were necessarily destroying, but they certainly weren't tzaddikim, right? So maybe you couldn't expect any different from them. Just like you couldn't expect a cannibal to not smack his lips over a nice human steak.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
I mean, that's like a normal human reaction, you know?
Right.
And
But it also would seem that it's a normal human reaction when you see Hashem's hand in the world to react with awe and respect for Hashem.
right, so that was one of the questions we mentioned earlier. Meaning, when they came and said, "We see Hashem's with you when we want to make a pact with you," I'm not sure if the jealousy ever went away, because that was Yitzchak's question to him. What are you coming to me? What do you want from me? You hated me. You were jealous of me. You sent me away, right? So what do you want from me? He said, no, Hashem's with you, right? So I'm not so sure that any of those things, their jealousy and their hate, I'm not sure if their jealousy and hate ever went away, but they simply, because of expedience, they want to make a pact with Yitzhak. And if you can't beat him, join him.
Right.
Or can we say that they actually had a change of heart? I don't know. I think it's unlikely to say they had a change of heart.
No, I didn't say that.
No, I'm not. I didn't say that either.
Yeah.
I think it's probably unlikely to say that they did. Not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not clear what his motivation was.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out exactly. I mean, the most simple, direct understanding that we can have his motivation was simple. You see someone see successful, and so now you want to, and you tried to overcome him. You couldn't, so now okay, you can't beat him, join him syndrome.
Right.
A syndrome is a collection of reasons.
Right.
So if you can't beat them, join them, that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's a syndrome, then there are other things also in that package.
Mm-hmm.
Syndrome is a package of reasons for something.
Right.
And some of those reasons might act on each other as well.
True.
But what they are, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
in this case.
So I see there's a little bit of an explanation here. The Alshik goes into a little bit of explanation here. Just for your information, Alshik was born in Turkey, and he lived from 1507 to about 1593. Lived in the 16th century.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually came to Eretz Israel and lived in Sfas. And it was on the same base din as Rabbi Yosef Cairo, the Mechaber of the Shulchan Aruch. So yeah, so he's very. So he said, Berosi. Let me read to you what he says here, and we'll see if we can work with it a little bit. It says, Beros Avimelech has called Shefa Tov Brachas Yitzchak. When Avimelech saw all the tremendous good bracha of Yitzchak, right? Lo Masha Lo Hayakain Lo Uimo. He saw that Yitzchak was head and shoulders over he himself and all his people, right? He saw this Yitzchak is tremendously he's in a class above and beyond us. Allah Amrucho Ki Hasar HaMashpia Alav Alimo. He began to think that the forces in heaven that control him and his people, it was, he thought that maybe Yitzhak was getting this bracha above and beyond his own people from the source of that gives him the bracha, meaning Abimelech, right? Memeno Yegadol Yitzchak. Ella Sha'ilos Yitzchak Yosef Mukhan LeKabel Ashpa Al Kain HaIker Boilav Mishra Bola Milimo. Okay, can you? I think maybe you know what I think it's like. Let me try and explain to you. Maybe this is what happened here. It was maybe like this. Yitzchak came and started living. He was a stranger. Yitzchak was not one of the Philistine, right? He was not one of them. He was a stranger.
Right.
He came to them. He came and started living in their land, and he became tremendously successful, right? So successful that they became jealous of him and they sent him away, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what did Abimelech think? He thought maybe Yitzchak is becoming so rich and successful because of the fact that he's living amongst them, and he's getting influence. This influence of bracha is coming from the fact that he's living amongst them, right? So he became jealous, and they sent him away, right? But after he sent him away, and Yitzchak still became more and more successful, he realized that Yitzchak's success was not because of his living amongst them and perhaps getting the influence of bracha from their own wherever spiritual sources of success are. He saw that this was coming from a Kadosh Baruch Hu, not from any fact of him being amongst them, right? So once he saw that it was coming from Hashem, so he said, okay, now we need to join up with Yitzchak because it's coming because of a Kadosh Baruch Hu. So that might explain a few of these questions we've been dealing with. Okay, something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
Good,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Rabbi.
Okay, Mitzvah Hashem. Lou, I'll see. I've been very busy. I didn't have a chance for the newsletter. I'll try and send something out for the newsletter, maybe a few minutes to you if you want, if you're still willing to wait for it.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you reminded me. I was gonna ask you if you were gonna send something.
Yeah, I've just been busy. I wanted to do it last night, but I got tied up with something. I'm gonna see if I can do it right now. I'll see if I have something on file that I can send to you.
Terrific. Thank you so much.
Right.
Okay, take a look.
Lou?
Yes,
Okay.
Roy.
See you good. Have a good Erev Shabbos.
You too, Rabbi, first. You too. You should tell Rabbi Levitt that I might be a bit late.
You'll be a bit late. Okay, no problem.